Hello, in this video, we will be making the soothing towel. First, get a towel fabric and put the pattern side up. We will be fixing the hanging loop and the label in place. Please use the label that comes with the kit in place of the yellow label. Let's look at the paper instructions to see where to place them. Mark where both of them will go with an erasable fabric marker. Place the label on the top. For the long fabric, fold it in half like a V. You want the ends to line up to each other. Place it on the fabric. Line up the ends of the long fabric to the edge of the towel. Fix them together with pins. This is going to be a loop you can use for hanging the towel. Also, line up the end of the label to the towel and fix it together. Next, get the second towel fabric and place the pattern side down. Line up the edges together neatly and fix the two fabrics together with pins. Now, grab the erasable fabric marker. Draw a sewing line 0.8 cm inward around the edges. Mark the points for an opening hole. Please do not sew between these points until the end. Prepare threaded needle. We will be using back stitch. Start from the mark for the opening and apply back stitch. When you get to the corner, make sure you bring the needle out right at the point. Then, rotate the fabric and continue sewing. Sew all the corners this way. You want to make sure to sew the corners well. When we flip the fabric inside out, they will come out pretty. Let's keep sewing until we get to the second mark for the opening hole. At the second mark for the opening, Stop here and secure the stitches with knots on the back. Cut the thread. Flip the towel fabric inside out through the opening hole. You can fold the corners like this before flipping it. Straighten out the towel and the edges. You can use a needle to help with the edges. Next, let's close the opening with slip stitch. For slip stitch, get a piece of thread and fold it in half. Put the ends together and thread both of the ends together into the needle. Pull the end a little. Make sure the end with the loop is longer. Look at where the sewing ended. You don't want to start right at the end. Instead, go back about 1 or 2 stitches and start there. Pick 1 or 2 fibers and pull the needle through the loop at the end. Once you made the invisible knot, start applying slip stitch. At the end of the opening, don't stop there. Make few more stitches over the existing ones. This way the old and the new stitches will blend in together. Secure the stitches with few knots. Insert the needle between the 2 fabrics and pull it away from the knots. Pull on the thread gently and cut it. Before we go on the next steps, I recommend you to iron the fabric first if you can. This will help make the next parts easier to sew. For the next step, we are going to apply running stitch around the towel. If you look at the end, you will see the seam allowance inside the towel. We are going to sew right under the seam allowance. You do not want to sew on the seam allowance though. We are sewing the 2 towel fabrics together with running stitch. Okay, let's start by inserting the needle between the 2 towel fabrics. Pull the needle out right under the seam allowance like this. Pull on the thread until the knot goes into the towel. This way the knot is hidden inside. Start applying running stitch under the seam allowance. I will fast forward the video from here. When you finish sewing, secure the stitches with few knots. Pick 1 or 2 fibers where the thread is coming out, and pull to make a knot. Do it one more time. Insert the needle between the fabrics next to the knots and pull it out away from them. Pull on the thread and cut it. For the last part, we will be sewing on the bunny or the bear. Fold the towel in half. Fold it in half one more time. Use the fabric marker and mark the center. Open the towel back up. Get the doll you made previously and mark the center of the bottom. Line up the marks together like this. Hold it in place and fix them together from under the towel with pins. At the center, draw a circle about the size of a coin. Prepare threaded needle. Start by inserting the needle under the head and into the fabric where the sewing line is. Pull the needle out and apply back stitch around the circle. Sew the towel and the doll together. Finish by securing the stitches with few knots. Insert the needle next to the knots and into the doll. Pull the needle out. Take on the thread and cut it. Congratulations! You have completed making the soothing towel.